Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel for another video. So the last time we did an update on the ducks, they just turned a week old and now they've just had their third week. So they're just going into their fourth week now and a lot has happened. We're going to talk about what's happening. I'm going to show you little bits of footage of what has happened and we're going to show you the ducks today and we're going to answer a couple more questions that some people had. So first off, in the last video when they were about a week old, they were in the small box and I said that we were going to be updating their enclosure to a bigger sort of enclosure for them in the house. So we did that a couple of days after that video and we put them into this bigger enclosure and they got the zoomies. So here's some footage of the ducks getting the zoomies in their bigger enclosure for the first time, and this was a couple of weeks ago. The enclosure that I actually made, I'll show you right now, and there's also been a couple of other changes and we've changed to some bigger feeders as well. A mess roundabout, we've got duck food and sawdust everywhere, but yeah, this is the bigger enclosure. What it actually is, if I show you down the sides here, you'll see this is actually old dog crates, the long pieces of old dog crates. And then this was just a plastic liner I bought off Amazon. It was really cheap, but it's worked out well. Bigger feeders, so we've got the 3 litre water feeder here and the 3 litre food feeder. And we've also got the heat out, guys. So today I actually took the heat out, so there's no brooder plate anymore. So 3 weeks they stopped getting heat from their brooder plate. I noticed in that piece of footage there where I was showing you the thing, you'll actually see some of them are starting to get their adult feathers. They're looking less fluffy. They've got sort of patchy feathers now. So that's their adult feathers coming in, and that actually leads to some really interesting stuff. If we have a look at them here, you'll see they've still got their sort of duckling colours. And I'm going to show you a quick photo of what the breeding flock that we got the eggs from look like. Hopefully I'll show you a photo of them and you can see there are lots of different colours, that flock, so it's always going to be a real surprise what colour these ducklings turns out. Obviously these bigger ones you'll see here, they're going to be white, and you can see their wing feathers are coming in pretty well here, and you can see on the bottom of this one's body here, you can see it's getting its white feathers in. And then this is where it gets interesting. So if I look at this one, you can see its feathers are coming in a completely different colour. They're going to be like a sort of browny tan colour. So that's super interesting because it's totally different. But then if we go to one like this one, you'll see its adult feathers are much darker. And then if I find, yeah, this is the one that had the bent neck. It's got super dark feathers. And then if we go to the really dark duckling, it's sort of in the shade, you can actually see its feathers are getting lighter. So I still have no idea what colour these are actually going to be, except for a few of them. Obviously the yellow ducks were always going to be white, but the other ones could literally go any colour at this point. So it's going to be super interesting to see how those adult feathers come in and what colour they're going to be. So some of you guys were wondering, am I going to have to clip their wings? Their wings look super funny right now. They're like little arms. Weird. But no, runner ducks are a flightless duck. So they're naturally flightless, so there's no need to clip their wings or have them in an enclosure that they can't fly out of. Like I say, I plan on these being free range. So they're naturally flightless. And when we say that, they can fly about as much as a chicken. They can get a few feet off the ground, but they're not fully flighted birds like most other ducks are. They're considered to be flightless ducks. Something else people were wondering about, and I talked about the fact that we won't know whether these are males or females, and ideally I'm looking to keep only one male and keep all the females, but only keep one male to stop them from fighting. Well, ducks actually tend to take it out in the females more, so we don't really want that. So it's still really hard at this point to tell who might be male and female, but I do have my suspicions. These yellow ducks is definitely a male, because do you hear that? You can see what I mean, guys. They've got like patches where their fluffy feathers are coming out and growing other ones. I don't know if you heard this one here, but it made that sort of whoop whoop whoop. So that sounds much more like what a male duck should sound like. So female ducks actually make the quacking sound that we recognise as ducks, and male ducks make what they call a rasp, which was similar to the noise this one just made, that whoop whoop whoop. See if we can capture it again. So I'm not capturing that sound again right now, it's not making it, but it was making it a lot last night, and it sounds much more like a duck rasp. The other ones haven't started to develop their adult sort of voices yet, so it's hard to tell with the rest. Another thing that I've been told is that the beaks of males are lighter when compared to a female of the same colour. To here, it's kind of hard to tell, especially when they're rooting around in the sawdust with their heads down. But you can see this one here has a much darker beak than that one. So I suspect that this one's actually a female and this one might be a male. Then to sort of continue with that sort of theory, this one has a super dark beak, so I'm guessing it's probably a female, and so does this other brown one here. So that sort of leads me to believe that at least 1, 2, 3 here are probably females. With the rest, it's super hard to tell. This was the one with a bent neck. It's got super dark legs and a beak as well, so maybe it's female. And the other white duck, super hard to tell because they both look very similar. They could be both males. And that is just a theory. I'm sort of like almost guessing at that, but that's what my guess is right now. Like I say, the sort of bent neck duck, who by the way we've come to nickname Dopey just because of that problem he had. He used to fall a lot, so we've called him Dopey. Or her. Yeah, so that's just my theory. The other sort of brown white one that's got more of a white beak, no idea. Like I say, normally you would compare them like for like, so white duck with white duck, to see the darkness difference, or like the two sort of fawny ducks we've got there. But yeah, that's my guess anyway, but we'll see what happens. A lot of people didn't like the fact that I might put the ducks in the freezer, and that still might happen. But also, I actually might have a home for some of the males now. We'll have to see what happens, because you can actually keep males together as long as there's no females around. So you can actually keep a herd of just male ducks if you wanted, but there's no real market for male ducks, especially here in Scotland. Duck keeping isn't huge here in Scotland. Most people prefer chickens. For whatever reason, but yeah, unless you've got some really special coloured duck, some sort of rare coloured runner duck, there's really no market for them. People don't really want them. Most people want hens. Do you hear that? So that's that white duck again, that whoop whoop. So that's what I suspect to be that rasp sound, that sort of male duck sound. Water feeder is sort of like, it's been good, but it's also not. The ducks can't get right into it. It's not that deep, the tray at the bottom, so I've actually been holding a jug and letting them get their beaks right in it to help them blow out their noses after feeding a little bit, just because I think they should get their heads under the water, which they can't in that little feeder there. So that's something I've been doing as well, just to try and make sure that they're properly able to blow the water through their beaks and make sure there's no food getting stuck in there up near their nostrils or anything like that. Also guys, like I said, they were off heat this week. It's actually been a really nice spring here in Scotland, especially the last month. What that means going into April, normally if we get a really nice March, we get a terrible April, which is terrible for us on the farm because we're lambing in April. But the long range weather forecast right now doesn't look too bad. Like I say, this is them going into, well, the end of the third week today, going into their fourth week. And actually, from what I'm seeing on the weather, it's going to be 15 to 16 degrees next week, which is ideal weather for them. It's the ideal temperature for them to go outside. Obviously, during the day, they'll still be in here at nights for a while yet. But I was thinking about, if that temperature, if it is around 15, 16 degrees, maybe in a few days I'm going to take them out into their outside enclosure, which will be their coop for when they're older. Not let them run around the garden. They're obviously still too young, too small, too vulnerable to predators right now. But to take them out into their coop, maybe for a few hours, see how they go on the first day, and then maybe start transitioning them more in there during the day till maybe about 6 weeks where they'll be in there full time during the day. Obviously weather depending, it could end up getting cold again, it could end up being really bad weather again, in which case they'll be in the house. But when the weather's nice over the next few weeks, I do want to try and get them outside a bit, get them used to their outside coop, which will be their permanent home. See, they're all cleaning themselves right now. These have sort of been my favourite ones so far. It's also funny, you can see they've got a bit of personality growing now, because one of these two, it's really hard to tell which one's which at first glance with these two, but one of them's super tame and the other one is super skittish, and that's how I tell them apart now, is because one will literally just let you pick it up, no fuss at all. The other one just starts running around in here anytime your hand goes near it. This duck here, I think this is the one I suspect being a male. This is the other one, and it is a super brave little duck. Anyway, that's the duck update for now. When we take them outside for the first time, I'll make sure to get some good footage of that, because it should be quite fun, it should be quite exciting. But anyway guys, that'll do for this video, and thank you very much for watching.